Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for hanging with me on this Saturday. And if you've went out of your way to like, comment, or subscribe, thank you. All right, so the dog days of summer are here. That doesn't mean the fishing is always going to be bad. We are going to have some days where that stray shower may come in the afternoon, or you may wake up in the morning and it be cloudy. And that is a great time to go throw topwater, because typically in the summer, bass are going to hang out in one place. They're really going to slow their metabolism down, and they're just not going to bite every day, which makes a lot of days tough. But if you have that day where the pressure's changing, you have a falling barometer, bass are going to feed. Those are the days where they bite really good, and it can be really fun. And depending on how many people are on your lake, those storms sometimes push people away. So you can get out there if it's not dangerous and go throw a topwater. What I usually see are bass are going to stack up, on like a grass line or on some type of structure, and they're going to be on the edge. They're going to be right where it falls off into deep water, and they're going to stay right there on those hot days. Typically, those are places where they're close to the current. They're just close to deep water refuge. But if you have some clouds, they're going to start going everywhere. They're going to go back all in that big grass bed, or they're going to be all over that point, and that's when you can throw topwater. If it's not too deep, you have something that may be holding the fish there, a topwater is a great bait. Now, what you will find in the summer, though, is bass are pressured. They've seen a bunch of spooks. They've seen a bunch of frogs. They've seen a bunch of poppers. And there are baits like a popper, for instance, not the easiest bait to cast. So if you're in some places where it's really hard to get a bait through there, those treble hooks, they're just not going to come through that bait really well. So this is one of those baits that I don't think anyone throws, because it's kind of challenging to find a good rod and line the whole setup for it. But this is one of those smaller frogs. So this is your spro popping frog, just the really small size. I'm not sure if this is the junior or what this is, but I know it's one of the littler ones. You can trim these legs down so they're not so obnoxious, but here's the deal with this smaller frog. On days where you may have to fish all day to get 5 bites with a normal frog, or you may be fishing all day and not get 5 bites. So that's typical frog fishing from what I've seen the last 10 years is you may not always be able to get 5 bites on it. This, you can get like 20 bites on it. So you're going to catch a lot of fish, a lot of small ones for the most part, but you're going to get a lot of clues. So when you are just out there scratching your head going, I don't know why I'm not catching anything, that's typical topwater fishing. You're going to run a lot of banks. You're going to go fish a lot of different places. You're not going to get any bites. This, you continuously are getting clues. So I'm not saying that you got to go out there and throw this little tiny frog every single day, but you can go out and throw it for 5 or 6 hours to really build your confidence, really kind of clue you in on where there are just fish, and then bust out the big frog and then go throw the big frog. But this is a really good way to just kind of learn stuff, and it's fun. You're gonna get topwater, explosions on top, and if you have the right rod and line and all that, you won't straighten these hooks out, and you can catch big ones on it too. So I go to like my more heavier power cranking rods, because really these hooks are fairly small. So if you try to use your normal heavy action rod, I still go with braid, but if you try to use your heavy action rod, you're going to straighten out the hooks. So use like a heavier power cranking rod, the type of rod that you're going to throw like a lipless crankbait on something like that, like a medium heavy, and then braided line, 40, 50, whatever you want to use. And if you go to like just your medium heavy, you can even go down to fluorocarbon. You got to kind of play with that, but I like a cranking rod with braid. That seems like I'd have the most luck with that. I don't bend the hooks out or anything like that. But this is one of those baits where you would be surprised how many fish you're around in the summer that won't eat a full-size topwater but will bite this smaller frog. So one of those things I learned a long time ago when I wasn't catching anything in the summer, and so someone said, I've been catching like close to 100 bass a day on this. You should give that a try. I don't think that guy fishes anymore, but he showed me that, and it blew my mind, because I'm out there thinking, yeah, if I get a bite every hour and a half, I'm doing well. And he's like, yeah, everywhere we go, we catch a bunch of fish. So it's one of those things. You can still power fish with it, and you just get a lot of bites. I think we get so caught up on full size this, when really you need to learn all sizes, or you need to have all sizes. And especially if you're starting out or you're going to a lake that is really tough, getting bites is so important. It's so important for your morale. It's so important to putting the full, picture together piece by piece. So you need bites, and that's the worst part about summer fishing. A lot of times when you have conditions that aren't suitable for bites, you don't get very many, and you really struggle to kind of figure out what's going on. So try that junior size Spro Poppin' Frog. Good luck to you guys, and I'll see you on the water.